Going to take a bit of getting used to. I don't know if I'm going to switch, to be honest.
So Marsh, when did you purchase it?
On Showdown. Oh jeez. August the 5th, 2022.
Nifty. They have a little sneak peek, a 4-minute trailer of Hunt Showdown 1986.
Ooh.
It's on the Steam page.
I'm trying to watch it. Have you seen the trailer, Mezzy?
I have not.
What about you, Sir Marsh?
On the Steam page.
Yeah.
Go to the Steam page and then go to their store.
Okay, store page, yeah.
Store page, yeah. And it should be right there. Or I think that's where it's under.
Okay, it's playing now. Yes, they've started updating the Steam stuff already.
Yeah, there's a brand new one. So I think we're going to start off with this. We'll start off with this, I guess.
All right, so we're going to analyze this trailer? Okay.
Yeah.
I like it.
Shit.
Now, I will give credit where credit is due, and their graphics team is like...
Thanks, Otis.
They're
so
always...
much for being quiet.
Just get the clue and let's move out.
Even though some of their shit... It's still good.
Got it. We are not alone. Doesn't matter. Just stick to...
You got one.
You were saying? Get any new holes in you?
Not that I noticed. Looky here. This one had a dolch.
No thanks. I'll stick to my uppercut. Okay, we're here.
Let's cook up that bird nice and proper, shall we?
After you.
Why couldn't they give us a fourth?
Shit.
They were legit in the game, that would be like,
Banish that thing. Let's
Hardcore.
get the bounty out of here.
I hate games that
I'll
have
do the
trailers that
honors.
have no similarities to the style.
I'm with you there. I want to see like what the actual gameplay looks like. I get the trailer, it's for the hype, I understand that, but I will say it's a good trailer.
Very good trailer. I like if this was like a TV show and it had more depth.
Guessing
I'd be
everyone
like,
knows
fuck yeah,
we're
like
here
man,
now.
like, but
Yep. What next?
I just knowing how the game plays and you see like the dodging and the melee and then like you don't burn scrap meat normally. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
unless you normally try to kill them, you don't really want to burn them. You can.
But if you think about the trailer as a complete relaunch of a product that already exists, if I was a brand new player, didn't hear anything about Hunt Showdown, just come across it on Twitter or some hype or some friend told me, you know, this game's coming out, it's having a complete new reskin, and if I watched that video, I would be hyped.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Like, and they've done
100%.
from a marketing point of view for brand new people, like a brand new community member to the game. That is a sick trailer. Like,
Absolutely.
really, it's probably one of the best they've done.
Yeah.
I would definitely say, as far as like an event trailer and everything, yeah, it's definitely the best they have done for the trailer, and just for their new game in general. The showcase of the map, you got to see a good bit of the map and whatnot of the new map, since nobody's seen it yet. But I mean, like at the end there, like you got to really showcase a lot of it there, which was really nice. And how you could see like through the like little tunnel there, that obviously there's definitely a drop down, it looks like. So if you want to drop down there, you can. But I mean, just looking at like all of that, like the compound that's outside of it and whatnot, I mean, they did a really good job. Like overall, super excited for it. Just hoping that it's more fine tuned than the old platform. I mean,
Okay, so
Yeah.
all old feelings, all previous Hunt feelings aside, we all know how each of us feel about it. Would you say what's your level of excitement?
I mean, I'm super excited for it. I'm really stoked for it. Almost as excited when I first
Like, does it feel
found
like
out
it's a
about the
new
game.
game dropping?
Oh, it's definitely going to be a new game. It's practically Hunt 2. They're changing it entirely from the way it was originally designed back when I played it in 2018 with Mezzward. Like, the game has changed drastically the first 2 years, and then it changed even more drastically the next 2 years after that. And for the last 2 years, it's even been changed. And I mean, it went from a very, I don't know if I would say tactical, because not a lot of people played it and not a lot of people knew about the game back then, but was it definitely a tactical side and very slow-paced shooter back then? Yeah, because, I mean, people were still figuring out the whole quick swap. People were still figuring out the whole, like, headshot, and back then it was infinite headshot range, so it didn't matter where you got fucking headshotted from, it killed you. And the mechanics, like, a lot of people still didn't know like a lot of the mechanics, and even we were learning the mechanics a year later into it. I mean, ammo penetration was changed drastically, because like back in the day, ammo lost a significant amount of damage just even shooting through a wooden door. Like, it was reduced by like 60% or whatever the number was for all guns. Like, it was insane compared to what it is now.
Why do you think they changed that, Jack?
I mean, I think as more players, I don't know if I would say really cheaters back then, because I mean, there was cheaters, but it was probably like you never even knew if you went against a cheater because the game was so new. I would say it was more of a skill gap that they were trying to increase.
More realism?
Yeah, maybe
More
more
hardcore?
realism, making it, they wanted to make, I think the biggest thing was they didn't like that all guns were kind of affected the same. So they wanted to make there to be a difference between the guns, which obviously there is definitely a difference between shooting like a 38, special compared to a fucking 45-70 round, or even the Mosin, which is a 7.62.
Yeah.
I mean, so yeah, there's definitely a difference in shooting the rounds for sure.
So, to go back to the beginning, Marsh, you're still fair. You're the baby of all of us.
I'm the
four.
baby.
You're the baby of all of us four. What was your initial thoughts of Hunt?
So I got recommended Hunt Showdown for a friend that I've played this game with twice. So big shout out. I used to play a lot of Tarkov. When Tarkov, I think I got to just as the beta dropped, I got introduced to Tarkov. So I didn't play any of the alphas or any of the early stuff like Jack and you have of what Mezzy has of this game. And he said, look, if you love Tarkov, I was getting sick of Tarkov. There was a big cheater problem and it was rinse and repeat. There was no new content coming to it. So I was looking for something new. And my friend said, this game, I play it with my brother. It's come on sale. You should really check it out. So back in August 2022, I bought the game on sale. And when I first played it, I played it with Run Gun and another gentleman that's within the communities. And what got me hooked straight away was the immersion of the game. I still remember my first match was a night map. Okay, this is my first impression of the game. Was a night map, crouch walking through weed.
You know,
when we heard any sort of noise.
I remember my very first match was with Mezzy and Jack, and I still to this day, it wasn't a night map, so I wasn't that spooked. Still to this day, I was crouched. I was scared because I was like, oh God, who's gonna jump out and fucking shoot me? And I step on a stick, and Mezzy turns his character around and looks at me and goes, Hyde, watch where you're stepping.
Oh God. And I remember getting into our first fight. We were all, obviously knowing the game now, we were all brand new, so we were all tucked in with brand new players, or players with a low skill gap, let's just say. And I remember our first fight was just outside of Cyprus, in those little huts just outside. We ran into a team. We sat in a bush for about 10 minutes, and then I fired the gun for the first time, and I got a headshot, right? And there was something about that squish
That
noise
sound.
you get when you hit a heady, and also the death sound. So in Tarkov, sometimes you don't know if you've killed someone because you don't always get a cry from the PMC that you've shot, right? Or a death sound. So that kind of adds to the immersion because you're like, did I get him? Did I not get him? Did I get him? Like, and you're trying to get angles to see the body, or if the body's not there, you start panicking because you're like, oh, he's still up. But I was like, no, I heard the squish and I heard the death sound. And then the guy that had a little bit of experience with us was like, you got him. And there was just this like, we were like, yeah, we can do this. And then we all got wiped by the last two. but ever since that kind of, I guess, positive experience, I was like, I wanted more. I wanted to play more. And I think we played for like nearly 8 hours straight on the first day. And there was an event going on at the time. It was the Serpent Moon event. So, yeah, I kind of got hooked from then, but I didn't really introduce it to the stream world until probably a couple of months later, when I built up a little bit of confidence with the game.
What about you, Mezzy? I know you played with Jack, like when, because didn't you guys got it around the same time, didn't you, back in 2018?
Oh yeah, he sent me the trailer before it was even released on pre-alpha and everything, and said, "Look at." I think you found it on a magazine, Game Informer.
Yeah,
or-
Game Informer.
And then he found the YouTube video, I believe, and sent it to me. And then from that moment on, we were hooked and ready to go from the beginning. And as soon as we started playing it, that was it. We were addicted. The game has definitely came a long way from what we originally bought. It's not the same, and it's taken a while for me to, I guess, in a way, accept that, because, you know, we were drawn to what we originally saw and were playing, and it had this such a unique feel without the spam weapons that were starting to come in, which we weren't used to, and even the different ammo types and how they worked. And I can understand why they did it for a new player base, to keep it not, I guess, in a lack of better terms, boring, having the same basic ammo types with the same few weapons. So I get why they did it. It took me a while to accept that. But after rewatching that trailer another, I don't know, 4 or 5 times, listening to you guys, I'm definitely starting to get that feeling back, you know, pushing those feelings aside of, like, I get Hunt's never going to return to what it was, but I can only hope it brings some of that back into this new era.
I hope
And
it just kind of gets better.
Yeah, and, you know, like, it does look a little darker than it used to, so it's not like true darkness like we originally had, to where the lanterns had that, like, ultra spooky effect. And, you know, when you saw a light out in the distance, whether it was gleaming off of the water that you were near, or it was near a compound, you were like, is that a player or is that a zombie with a lantern on? And
Right. See, unlike you guys, I mean, me and Marsh, we can attest. We never got to experience that true darkness that you guys talk about.
I sent you guys the trailer for the original Hunt, and that's one thing, like, that was so, like, Marsh, like, hinted in and said earlier, was how immersive the game was. This game was so immersive. You were so in, like, the game and, like, your surroundings, because of how immersed you got placed into the game, with just the ambience and the way the designs were of the map, and how dark and, like, crazy the map actually was. And you weren't sure if there was a player or if it was a zombie or what the fuck was there. And so before Discord came out, I mean, now you had Ventrilo and shit back in the day, but you were supposed to play this game with open mic for communication. Like, that's how this game was intended, was open mic between your team. So you imagine that you're hearing other people talking while walking above you. And you're like, oh, shit, well, now do I want to talk? Like, do I talk to my teammate? Because I don't want to talk to my teammate, and now they're going to know we're here. Like, yeah, so we'll watch this real quick, because, like I said, this was very immersive. Like, this goes on to show a little bit from where they came from. The spider, for the first time running into that motherfucker, was scary.
It still looks beautiful back then as well, right?
Yeah. It looks good.
I will say, to feed off of what Mark said, the head sound, the sound is so good. You get that headshot, it's like you know.
I think that's one of the things that I was so impressed with as well, is coming from Tarkov, you know, as much as I love the game, the faults, the bugs, the sound bugs, the sound engine in this game is absolutely incredible. And I think that's what creates a lot of the immersion as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, so were Julie's in it from the start?
No.
saw that guy using dualies.
Yeah, that was not in it from the rip.
So was it? Do you think it was like in their plan and they just had it in the
Must have
trailer?
been, yeah.
Oh, 100%.
I think when we were playing this, we just had alpha and early access, so
Yeah.
we definitely knew there was more to the game.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, okay. That
We
makes
just didn't know to the extent of how they were going to go with it because it felt more like a Western shooter at that time with this mystique of, banishing demons, and you have this,
Yeah, I mean, it
Zombie-esque.
was nice knowing that you had to have some type of. I mean, hell, the fucking headlamp was actually very useful back in the day for that. Like,
I seen
was
that. I
actually-
seen the guy in the
Yeah.
swamp on the trailer
Yeah.
with the headlamp on. It looked really
two
cool.
of them were walking. Yeah.
dude,
I mean,
the
if you-
headlamp fucking, dude, it was so good. Like, you needed it to see back then.
if you go back to like 45 seconds and go to like 50, you can see them fighting in the night. You can see how the light from the fire is illuminating certain spots, and other spots are so dark you can't really see. And then, they shoot a lantern, and the flame engulfing lights up this entire area, so you can actually see something that could be, a zombie approaching around the corner. When he throws the flare in the water, I think it is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's
you
a
see
meathead
all
and
these.
everything.
Yeah, you see the meathead zombies just almost appear from the light behind from the flare behind them, lighting them up. Like, that was so unique back then because it was so dark. You didn't know there was 6 zombies and a meathead. You maybe heard the meathead and maybe another zombie, or you heard,
Yeah.
hey, I hear a bunch of like movement in water. Do we have other people, or is it just AI? So if you threw a flare, that'd be the only way you'd be able to find out. You didn't have moonlight showing you what's pretty much everywhere.
Well,
And-
and yeah, they didn't have the dick ticklers back then either, so
right.
you had no idea like that there was water devils. Like, no, that wasn't even a fucking thing back then. I mean, shit, you just ran through there because you were like, oh, it's just the water. Like, fuck, you just get slowed movement. Okay, whatever. Like, whoop-de-doo.
And then Gator Legs came out, and that was a whole
Yeah.
new. I mean, water was a significant playstyle in the early parts of the game because you didn't have the old dick ticklers, as Jack said, the water devils. And
So what
you know,
point this is for maybe everybody, I would say. What point did you think, okay, this is potentially the downfall of Hunt Showdown?
Okay. I think possibly about 6 months after I tried the game, I went serious on Hunt. As in almost full-time content creation. And I think when I started to notice certain things was, for me personally, I felt like some of those hardcore elements that I enjoyed about the game were getting less and less hardcore.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So there was a lot of changes that happened in a short period of time, which for me personally got a load of new players in, but also I felt like they didn't really take into account the old veterans that were playing, you know? It seemed a little bit more spammy. It seemed a little bit more less tactical. You know, people didn't care if they made noise. People didn't would like insta burn you and stuff like that, instead of, like, even I remember getting into a really intense fight and then having to run around a compound to find a lantern to burn someone to draw their teammates in so you could have a fight with them, because you get that stalemate sort of thing. And I think it was with the change of structure within Crytek. I'm not 100% knowledgeable on what happened, but obviously there's new cats in making changes and stuff. And I think after I hit my first kind of 1,000 hours, the kind of rose tinted glasses came off a little bit, and I started to see the little bugs, the little annoying things which you do after you play a game for a long period of time, right?
Right.
And for me, every update that came out it didn't really project the game in a certain direction. It almost was like they were firefighting, but not with the community's best interest at heart. In my opinion, right? So that's when I started to get a little bit like, oh, I'm not sure about this. Oh, I'm not sure about this. But then my love for the game took over, and I was like, no, I'm going to persist with it. I'm going to carry on going. I might not like this, but I'll get used to it, you know? To the point where we're at today, kind of thing, with a whole new relaunch and stuff. I'm excited, but I'm also a little bit, you know,
Yeah, I think that mood
worried
right
about
there.
it.
I think that mood pretty much describes everybody who has, I'm gonna say 1,000+ hours in this game. I think we're excited, but at the same time, nervousness.
No, nervous. Yeah. I mean, I would say.
So, babe, you've did your time with Crytek. What was the moment for you where a thought came into your head that was, okay, this is it's all going downhill?
I mean, for me, I'd probably say when I started bringing in like dual leads and then special ammo and the spam on top of that, and I started changing a lot of the basics of the game, I guess, as far as like you used to be able to bunny hop across the map with Lightfoot. And you could completely sneak up on people, and that was just a skill. They took out quick swap because they said that was an unfair advantage to the people that couldn't quick swap when quick swap was just a skill. It was a master.
Because like I know me and
You could
Marsh, we didn't have
could
that.
shoot your gun and switch to your secondary and shoot within the matter of like milliseconds if you were good. If you knew how to do it. So you
Marsh,
could have like a
that takes
Sparks
me and you out,
uppercut.
dude.
If you could have a Sparks uppercut, you could literally shoot, and then as you shot, you would hit Q to switch weapons, and then you would be able to fucking just bring it up and shoot your uppercut, because it would shoot the bullet exactly where you had your crosshair last at. So, like, if you were really good, you could be like, boom, boom, and, like, you could just knock people. I mean, it was just insane. Like, it was just dirty. And people were upset that they were getting killed because they were getting quick swap before they could get a shot off with a shotgun or two shots off with a shotgun to kill somebody. It was a skill thing. I know everybody could do it. I don't know why they took it out. I don't think they should have taken it out. I thought it was great. It was awesome. I mean, you want that old Western feel, especially when you're running like a Sparks. I mean, it's definitely possible back then. You shoot and then you automatically drop the rifle and just pick up your pistol and shoot. Yeah. I mean, there was very skilled people that were able to do that. So I feel like the dualies, I remember when they introduced dualies and me and Mezzward were like, oh, dude, dualies are going to be so much fun. And then after we played it, we're like, no, take the dualies out.
So
take them out.
Wait, what you're saying is you and Mezzy, and both of you are here right now, so you and Mezzy were both excited for dualies.
Yeah, we were super excited. We're like, dude, this is going to be so cool.
Mezzy, were you excited for dualies?
I was. I still think dualies could have a place in the game if it was reworked differently. I don't think, like, if anybody in real life goes and takes 2 pistols, and we're talking, I mean, you can do old Western revolvers or even modern, and you hold them up and try to dual wield them and fire at the same time and be accurate at any range other than point blank, you're going to surprise how much you miss. It's not easy. So I think personally, if you're going to be duels, there should be no reticle. Now the problem with that is you can just put a reticle on your monitor and there's ways around it. I get that. But on top of that, I think it should be less accurate too. I don't think it should be based off of, a centered reticle. Yeah, you're kind of pointed in, but those rounds are going to be going everywhere.
Well,
It's not going to be like, oh, I can 2-shot and get you back to back. Like, that's going to be like a 1 in a million chance.
I think a lot of people need to realize too, going on your whole, realistic side there with if people actually tried it. People got to remember, these are single action pistols.
Right.
So in order to shoot them as fast as these motherfuckers are in the game, like, that's impressive that you can shoot 2 pistols faster than you can just 1. Like, if it was me, I think now I know a lot of people would probably criticize this. Theoretically, though, dual wields, with how fast they shoot in a game, almost every hunter should come standard with fanning, because that would be a base thing that would, I mean, because realistically, every character could technically shoot the gun faster that way and would probably be shooting that way rather than being able to shoot 2 fucking pistols faster than you can shoot 1 single action pistol. It just makes 0 sense. So yeah, I mean, I don't. Yeah, I think that it was definitely the dualies that I was like, oh god, no, like let's just take these out, because you guys didn't get to experience it, but those crosshairs back in the day, those things were snipers. Like, you could easily snipe people. I'm talking 80, 90, 100 meters out, no problem with it, like almost any type of pistol. Because I think all pistols back then, if I'm not mistaken, had the exact same crosshair. So people were just running dual chains. And I mean, you were just sniping people like at 90 meters out, no problem. Like, it was absolutely wild. And then special ammo, they just did not know how to balance special ammo. Special ammo was just absolutely bonkers. Like, I mean, all the different ammo glitches they've had. And even now, I mean, 5 years later, they still have a poison glitch where you still get perma poisoned and you have to either climb a ladder or take an antidote shot.
I was about to say, didn't you just have that glitch the other day?
I just had it last week, where you have to you have to get poisoned and then unpoison again in order to get rid of the poison. Like, dude, that's been in your game for 5 years. Like,
run around looking for a bee bitch.
Yeah, like,
Right?
come on, man. Like, that's something that should not be in the game. And as playing the game, like, yeah, you know that there's going to be bugs and quirks and stuff that need worked out, but for certain things to persist as long as they did, yeah,
game breaking stuff as well.
Yeah.
If you get poisoned, you can't see shit.
No, and
Yeah.
you can't heal, so
You're kind of stuck.
you're at a disadvantage 100%. So yeah, and then even going from like the flash bomb, where the flash bomb was absolutely the most broken tool or consumable. Like, it was better than the fucking frag bomb, dude. Like, the flash bomb was goated. And now it's nerfed into oblivion, and it's like they should just either take it out of the game or rework it again.
Did they just rework it?
I would rework it to where if you're not standing in front of it when it goes off, that you don't get flashed.
I mean, that's common sense right there.
The one good way that a flash bomb would be great for is if people want to sit in buildings, and I've said this before years ago, if people want to sit in buildings, then a flash bomb would be a great counter tool, only because it would illuminate the entire building and it would at least give them some type of disorientation or at least a perma flash. And it would be a great way to push into a building.
Yeah.
So that way, if they, like I said, they want to hold corners or they just want to sit in there and not move, yeah, you throw a flash bomb, okay. Especially on night map, like, dude, okay, they're going to get fucking fully flash, and now you got an advantage to go in there as a team and try and either avoid their traps or avoid whatever they have set up, so that way you can make the push. But I mean, they went the complete opposite direction and just nerfed it to oblivion, where now the flash bomb's a meme if you try to use it on somebody.
Yeah, it is definitely a meme thing. So, excuse my ignorance. Do
Your excuse.
being a baby in this game, do you think the changes they made in order to balance these items we've just discussed, dualies, special ammo, flash bombs and stuff, do you think one of the main gripes of the RNG aspect to dualies is more frustrating now, or better than what it was when you could just laser people from across the map using the crosshairs?
I mean, RNG wise, it's technically worse because back then knew if somebody had dualies, you were kind of fucked because their crosshair was so small. Like, I mean, that,
to be fair, I
that-
still go into a map, and if I come across dualies, I still think I'm fucked.
yeah, I mean, because back then, like, you knew like that crosshair section was so tiny, so they were probably, if they were good, they were killing you, like most likely.
Yeah.
Where
Okay.
now, like, I mean, hell, you got some of the crosshairs that are absolutely massive, and you got people just shooting a piss in the wind, and it's like, well,
Headshot.
yeah, headshot.
I
fuck.
mean, and that's what I was about to say. I've aimed at Hunter's chest before with dualies and got a headshot.
Mm-hmm.
So there is an element of RNG on where that bullet actually goes,
100%.
right?
100%. I mean, it's just
So
like
do you think-
levering. It's just like fanning. I feel like what they should do, the best way, in my opinion, to fix those issues is take out the headshot multiplier, where you wouldn't be able to get a headshot with those
Yeah.
items. So if you're using dualies or you're using levering and fanning, that you might hit the headshot, but it's not going to kill him. What it's going to do,
the soft headshot or whatever.
right? It'll just be it'll just count as a regular body shot because it'll take out the headshot multiplier and it'll take out the the unlimited range. Because I mean, shit, dude, you talk about unlimited range now, dude. You got somebody with a Winfield levering, with a high V round, and they're just sitting 150 meters out. You're probably better off just levering that bitch down fucking range and seeing if you don't get it. Like,
Yeah.
you probably have a better chance with how tight that bullet spread can be at times. I mean, let's be real. Like, is it as skilled as somebody if they were to ADS a shot and put it where they want to put it? No. I mean, it's not as skilled. So I feel like you need that risk reward factor. So yeah, you got, okay, now I know I can't get a headshot with this, but I can easier two tap them to the chest or whatever it is. I can follow up my shots faster, but I'm not getting a headshot. So I'm losing that reward of aiming my shot, but I'm gaining the factor that I can now shoot the person faster twice compared to what they can shoot me twice. So it's that, it's that risk reward that you're going to take in.
Yeah, because you are. It's balanced to an extent that you are kind of limiting what you can do as a hunter with dualies, right?
Yeah.
If you have a single pistol, you're more likely to be able to land shots at a longer distance. So you're not right up in someone's face. You're able to obviously have a little bit more variable loadouts when you just run a single pistol to run in dualies.
Yeah.
So do you think some of the changes they've made to these over the years has hindered the game, or do you think it is actually going in the right direction and it's just taking longer than it's needed
I
to?
mean, I would definitely say some of the changes have been better. I still don't think they're great. I mean, yeah, they made the bloom and everything that you can't crouch down to get a tighter spread than what you used to be able to, because you used to be able just to crouch and your dual wields would get an insanely tight spread. Same with levering, fanning. Now it's just standard across the board depending on what weapons you're running. And I feel like even though they made changes to hinder them, I still don't think it was enough. I feel like dual wield should be very viable up close. Yes, they should be great and viable up close, but they shouldn't be viable at a distance. Like, your bloom and crosshair should be absolutely wild. I feel like at a distance compared to somebody that wants to ADS. Same with like even levering, because when we talk about levering with the actual Winfield, like, you'd be surprised how much practice it actually takes in real life to even just get semi good at it. And I feel like fanning, same thing. Like, people that try to even fan a gun. Like it's not as easy as you think. Like, it's definitely a lot harder. So I feel like I feel like an easy way to kind of, I guess, balance it for everybody's sake would be just the headshot part. Just reduce the headshot part, and I feel like you would probably have a better outcome. Because I mean, how many times have you gone into a fight and you're like, okay, we tagged the person, or okay, I know this dude has dualies or levering, and you go and peek the corner, and the first bullet with levering after they started spamming fucking just domes you, and you're just like, you're like, oh my god, this dude's fucking RNG. Or the dude's just spamming fucking a chain pistol with fanning through the wall with FMJ. You're running, you're dodging, dip, duck, you dodge 13, but then a motherfucker hits a random ass headshot, and you're like, are you serious? You just were able to one tap me there because because
of RNG.
Yeah, because of RNG. You just spam fucking 50 shots, but you finally hit me. Same with dualies, you know? So yeah, I feel like if you would take away that headshot part, I feel like that would be a better solution towards everybody. I think everybody would agree with that.
Yeah, I think that the whole what you just spoke about there is extremely rewarding for the player that hits the shot, but equally extremely frustrating for the recipient. You know?
100%. Yeah.
So
100%.
I guess what I'm trying to say is it doesn't, in my eyes, it doesn't reflect skill. And it's you kind of want to play a video game, have a fight. If you lose it, you lose it, right?
Yeah.
But you're like, gear up, let's go again, sort of thing. But sometimes that can actually put you in such a weird mood, you know, that you almost feel like you've been cheated. You know?
Definitely.
I know. I felt like that before.
I mean, especially after you just had, I mean, a great way is like after you just had an insane fucking fight. Maybe you fought 2 out of the 3 teams on the server. You know, you killed 6 hunters as a team, and you're like, dude, doing so great. And then you just got the last team that just comes up and has either a shit ton of dualies, or they do have the spam, and they're able just to come in and just clean house because you're either trying to heal or whatnot, and you go to back away, but they're able to fucking lay down a militia of firepower because of the way that the dualies and levering and even fanning is.
How it all works.
Right, the way it works. And it's like, well, all right, well, that was great. We had a high, and then now it's gone.
Yeah, see, I feel like if there was a little bit more open communication about it within the community without it getting nasty or toxic, that is something that as a developer or a business owner, something that I'd want to know about, right? If my product was, you know, causing these sorts of thoughts and feelings to my consumers, I'd want to be on that shit, you know?
I
you know
agree.
what I mean?
I agree.
Like, one of the ways I thought about how to possibly fix it would be that you could only get levering or fanning, or even have the ability to dual wield, once your hunter gets to a certain level, right? Where I'm going with this, like, if that was me and I came across someone with dualies, right? I would be like, okay, this guy's managed to get his hunter to, let's just say, level 25, right? So halfway towards max hunter. So I'm like, okay, this dude's earned that trait, kind of thing, you know? Other than every game respecking and just putting those traits on because because you're looking for that slight advantage.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I always thought that would be because that sort of feeds into the hardcore element of the game, that your hunter's more experienced, right? So your hunter's more experienced, so therefore it's learned new skills from going in and banishing, the whole getting into the whole lore side of it, getting sucked into the actual immersion of the game a little bit. They've managed to acquire these skills because that's kind of how it's set up, right? You need a certain amount of XP to get a certain amount of trait points in order to give your hunter those extra little perks.
Yeah.
So having those, I say spammy RNG perks, traits, like locked behind a hunter level, only specific to that hunter. So if you die before you hit that level, you'd have to level another one up in order to get that perk. I personally, as the reciprocant of getting domed by that 50th round from that chain pistol, I'd be like, fair enough. The dude earned that trait. You know what I mean?
Because he grinded his character up to whatever level 40 or
exactly.
whatnot.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that does reflect skill in a certain aspect,
Yeah. I mean, that makes definitely some sense. Yeah, for sure. I mean, they could definitely go that route as well. I mean, I think they could test it out too and see what the community rather have as well. See which one.
I just don't see these discussions though. I don't see these.
Well, people are scared to have
criticism discussions.
People are scared for criticism nowadays. That's the problem. Because they feel like they're going to get targeted or backlash because you talk about how you think a weapon should be. I mean, hell, I got backlashed because everybody complained to me when I talked about when a katana came out. And I said the katana's way too overpowered. I said it's too strong for a melee weapon. And chat was all, oh, you're just mad because you died to melee. Well, first of all, yeah, I hate melee. I think melee is absolutely stupid. But second of all, like, you shouldn't have a single slot melee that outpowers a full slot melee when you have a martialist trait. You have the martialist trait, and it's just as strong, if not stronger, than the bomb lance. So,
I've always said what's the point with the trait?
Like there's no point that a single slot weapon melee is by far hands down the most OP melee in the game, and it's a single slot and it don't even cost too much. Like, like I feel like that should not be in the sense, and it's a melee that you can seath with your martialist trait and have no stamina and still full swing and one hit people.
You can't get apart from the pistols, the Lamont pistols, you can't get a single shotgun that can one shot someone to the body. You know what I mean? A single slot, unless it's the Lamont pistol, right?
Yeah. The Lamont pistol's the only one
And yet you've got a melee weapon with its own trait, which makes it a one shot with, like you say, no stamina draw.
Yeah.
The range is incredible on it.
Yep. 3 meters, just like the bomb lance is.
And
it's
a single slot. I think it's,
I mean, and technically you can kill multiple people with it too if they're close enough within range. So one swipe can kill multiple people, which is even worse. So, yeah, I mean, I feel like definitely like that should not be there. But like I said, people are scared to talk about it because even when I brought it up, then people were just like, well, you're just mad because you're getting killed by melee. Well, I mean, you're not wrong. Yeah, I'm definitely mad because I got killed by melee. But
like when it comes to certain people that are like partnered with them or whatever, I think they're afraid to say anything because they don't want to jeopardize.
It's their bread and butter, right?
Yeah, they don't want to screw that up. Even though I'm sure when the cameras go off, they're thinking, "Oh my god, I hate the katana. Oh my god, I hate the throwing spear." But they're not going to say that to anybody because, like you said, that's their bread and butter.
Yeah, and they justify it by being professional. But change doesn't happen without constructive feedback.
No, it doesn't.
It never will do. It never will do. And I think the most successful things in life is when you've had constructive feedback ideas, because ideas come from constructive feedback. It's down on that individual how they take that constructive feedback or how it's portrayed or put across to them. But
and
still,
everybody who's
without a
behind the game,
conversation,
they're all adults.
Yeah, and without a conversation, nothing will change or nothing can happen, right? So yeah, I don't understand that side of it. But again, it's it's their bread and butter, I guess.
Yeah, it definitely comes down to the bread and butter side, and like I said, I think it's people don't.
But it also comes down to what sort of person you are, right? And what and what choice you make.
Definitely comes down to your integrity, and whether or not you're actually in it because you love the game and you want to see the game grow and be better, or you're just there because, I'm sure. I mean, let's be real. And this goes for all the games. I mean, it doesn't matter. Once you hit partner status, you reach a certain status. At the end of the day, the money talks. Then, I mean, money starts talking, and it's like, well, I don't want to lose my viewers, or I don't want to lose my status with this game because then I'm gonna lose money, and therefore now my job is messed up, which I completely understand, but at the same time,
yeah, it's the same with being a supervisor, getting a promotion to being a manager when you were one of the boys before,
Yep.
But at the same time, you have to point out when something is wrong or when something needs fixed, whether you're getting paid or not. Like if you're endorsing something, why would you want to put your name? I guess that's what makes all of us here different, is because it's like, why I wouldn't want to put my name, my seal of approval on something that is busted.
No. I mean, it just comes down to your integrity and what kind of person you are at the end of the day. I mean, that's what it comes down to. I mean, I've had many talks with different partners, and I'll say a lot of them, there's very few that I get positive talks out of, and then others.
Would you say positive, or would you say just genuine?
Maybe a little bit of both, depending on who it is. And then I mean, I've also just had some that just are.
That just tell you to shut up.
I'm just like, wow. I'm sorry, but I've played this game longer than you've even thought about playing this game. So, just because you have all the viewers doesn't make you absolutely right. I hate to tell you. And, just coming from the smaller guy here, it's just I'm just saying it as a balancing statement. I would like to see Crytek come out with, I don't know, maybe a survey every month or something, especially after you bring out new weapons and new tools.
They do their surveys after events.
But they haven't done one with the katana yet. They haven't done one with the throwing spear.
With the actual game.
Yeah, you need to do one with overall, with the game itself. Hey, what is something that you would like to see change? And if you have a shit ton of people going, hey, the throwing spear needs fucking nerfed because you can throw it like Zeus's lightning bolt, and Thor was able just to catch it and fucking rip it right through my chest. Yeah, you right. Yeah, okay, maybe we need to turn back down that it does shoot faster than some shotguns. You're absolutely right.
I don't even want to talk about the spear.
So,
we're gonna talk about the spear, Marsh.
I feel
very, very strong feelings about.
I feel like they need to have a survey or something that comes out about
what is wrong with it. What are your I get what you're saying.
What are some changes that you'd like to see?
Every update that you implement some kind of change that is substantial and alters the gameplay, just say, hey, we did this. This was the change. How are you receiving it? What is your thoughts?
Yeah.
Do you like
it?
And
the reason behind
you don't
why
even have to send out the
it.
survey to everybody. Maybe just random 100 people on Steam that are playing your game. Just send a survey to 100 people and be like, hey,
no,
how do you feel about this new
I think it should be
change?
sent to everybody. I think it should be
on
sent
their
to
website.
everybody. Yeah.
You click
Yep.
on it after every update. It takes you to this
Yeah.
forum page on their website, and then they can just be told, hey, this is, so if you want to take the time and go do it, then you can, and then they can get that feedback.
Yeah.
And then if you do it, you can bitch about it. If you don't do it, you can't bitch about it.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much. I mean, so it's like it's just like I saw a Reddit post. Like they were talking about long ammo and how supposedly in Crytek's studies, people that, and I don't know how they see this in the game files, but I'm sure they can. But they said in the game files, when teams would spawn in and they hear long ammo, there's always teams that ran away from it. And I was like, at least not in my lobbies. When I'm playing on my sweaty account,
in the
if there is multiple long ammo and Dolches getting shot, you are getting spammed because the other two teams are bum rushing you, and you're getting third and fourth partied, and then that's it. That's lobby, and then the winning team just extracts. Like, I don't know where these guys got this data from, but obviously it's not from fucking the games I've played, because that's been not the case.
No, it's a PvP game at the end of the day.
Yeah, so I mean, I heard some partners talking about this as well, that they were saying, well, the bounty isn't the objective of the game. PvP is the objective. And I was like, wait.
No.
I was like,
No.
hold up.
I mean,
So I think that's clearly
just...
something we need to like set in stone, like right here, right now, this very minute, in just 3 sentences or less. Babe, Jack, honey, what is the objective of the game?
So there's multiple layers to the objective.
No, there's not.
Yes.
I said 3 sentences or less.
So listen, the main objective is obviously to get the bounty to extract, but the PvP comes tied along with it.
Yes, you got to fight for the other bounty, but the main objective is the bounty.
Yeah.
So this is Hunt's description on their webpage where you buy it off Steam. Or not the webpage, but off of Steam. Hunt Showdown, 1896, is a new era of the addictively unforgiving extraction shooter. In corrupted backwaters lost to history, fight back alone or with friends against timeless evil. Twisted monsters and other ruthless hunters stand between you and your bounty.
Okay,
Risk
so
everything
to me,
as Hunt consumes you.
To me, that sounds like priority 1, bounty.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I could be taking that wrong, but since I've played the game, I have said...
But you got to listen, all right? So, yes, bounty is the main objective, but the way Crytek has went recently with it, since you don't get as much money from the bounty anymore, you get more money looting hunters. The twist has become PvP. And
yeah, it has. It's been forced into that, and I don't know why that's not been addressed. I mean, the thing that I wanted to say about the brand new trailer that's just dropped on Steam, right, is that trailer for a complete and utter noob. Not only does it look cool, but it literally explains how the game works. It explains the core mechanic of the game. You see hunters, you see their weapons, you see them get into a spawn fight or run into a team. Then you see them locate the bounty, right? And then you see them banish the bounty and have a fight with Scrapbeak. And then you see 3 other players on the map that see where the bounty location is and go, let's go, you know? And you literally see the guy put the bear trap on the floor as if to say, we need to defend this point. People are coming, you know?
Right.
The bad guys are coming to get our bounty. We need to get out with this bounty. It literally, and that's what I loved about that video, and that's why I said that if I didn't know anything about Hunt Showdown, I'd be buzzing for it, right? Because it literally within 3 minutes of amazing graphical video explains from start to finish how a Hunt Showdown match works and how it's supposed to be played.
And now it is supposed to be a slower paced battle royale, because what the main objective, so the bounty back in the day, what that was for, it was a battle royale, but they had a twist to it. Let's not make the zone automatically crush in. We'll make it that everybody will get centralized because everybody
goes to a zone.
Right, because they're trying to find the bounty, which is the main objective. Then from there, that's where the whole showdown happens. And so when I heard these couple partners talking about this, about how the bounty is a side objective and the main objective is the PvP, I was just like, man. Oh, man. And you guys got hundreds of people watching you, and now you got these guys going to go fanboy and be like, hey, you know, the PvP is the objective part. Like, we won just by killing this team right off the rip, but the bounty's on the other side of the map. Fuck it, let's extract.
Yep.
Like,
Yeah.
And that's what happens.
and
that's how it's set up at the moment, unfortunately.
It's definitely how it's set up. Now,
And
I
it's very
get
frustrating.
it. If you have multiple teams that happen to hit healing water, for example, because you have two teams, one spawn at Stillwater, one spawn at fucking Catfish, and then one spawn at Slaughter, and then they all hit a clue, and they all end up having to be at healing while the other team's over at fucking Blanchett or whatever. Okay, I get that. That's fine. Like, cool, but like, that happens. That does happen. But the problem is you'll have two teams fighting at Slaughterhouse or Devant, and then out of nowhere, you'll have the last team fucking, I don't know, well, not the last team, but one team up at Elaine, Fish and Chips, fucking fighting the boss. The other team's at Lock Bay going, do we fight the fight? Or do we go up to the boss because the boss is banishing and they have an extract and they're going to go right there? Ah, fuck it. Let's just go for the PvP action. Where, why are you going down there? Because there's 6 bodies you could possibly loot and get more money.
Yeah.
Than if you went
exactly.
up there and actually just killed the 3 people that had the banish and then killed them before they extracted and just took that. Like, yeah. So, I mean, I definitely feel like there needs to be a rework in that where you shouldn't even get money for looting the hunters. Honestly, you should not, even with their new vulture trait. I don't even think that. If anything, their new vulture trait should just give you extra like tools or consumables or even ammo off of players, or they can make it to where vulture allows you to loot off of burned hunters, which I think that would be the better change. Vulture, you can loot burned hunters. I think that's how that should go.
Yeah.
And
I think since that's kind of been the meta now, especially in the higher star lobbies that we play in regularly, is PvP loot players make more money than go for the bounty. For me personally, even if I have everyone, like you say, let's just say everyone meets at healing, 4 teams at healing, right? And you win, I still go for the bounty, because in my head, once I get that bounty out, I've actually won.
Yeah.
Like, I've actually completed the objective. You know?
100%.
Like, that's, and I feel like, but that's not the mentality with the player base. But again, could you argue that that's the mentality in the upper lobbies? You know, the 5-6 star lobbies that are veteran players that are up there. You know, mainly veteran players that are up there that are literally just playing this game now for the PvP, because they've done the whole, you know, they've got 5-10k hours in the game, and they've done the whole getting the bounties all the time, and they just literally love the game for the PvP.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, like, there's nothing wrong with loving the PvP aspect of the game. I love the PvP aspect of the game. But it also comes to a time where, you need to have, okay, if the objective is supposed to be the bounty, well, we need to make the bounty obviously rewarding to actually go after and entice people to go after the bounty, instead of let's just have it where people are going to get more rewards for the PvP side and not actually doing the objective. Like, back in the day, you weren't able to loot money off of players. And that's what was so nice, is that you got ammo, tools, or consumables off of players. You did not get money off of looting hunters, which was really nice because it really forced everybody to entice people to go actually for the whole bounty, because it was like, dude, we need money, and right now we're in a losing streak, so we fucking lost a shit ton. We need the fucking bounty. Like, we need to
Back
get them.
then, weapons cost more.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you didn't. It hurt you when you went in and you didn't come out with bounty, or if you died because you just lost a very expensive loadout. Money was already tight because you weren't getting it from everywhere, and it also made you feel so good when you were able to come out on top.
Yeah.
And be like, I got a Mosin off of this guy. Like, that's awesome. I turn up Mosins now. You always are like, hey, there's a Mosin over here. There's an uppercut. There's a double. I'm like, meh.
Yeah.
But you can have a couple 100K, no problem now.
But also, do you think the problem is that the fact the game is driven on some sort of economy, and that economy has never been reset or wiped, or
100%.
The reason why games like Tarkov, those sort of extraction shooters where it's very, very economy based, the reason that works so well is because you're going in to make money, right?
Yeah.
That is the sole purpose of the game, okay? Is to make money in order to buy better kits, to unlock better stuff, la 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 la, right?
Yeah.
But Hunt Showdown's not set up like that. Hunt Showdown is set up that, yes, you need money in order to buy a loadout, but also the main objective is the bounty that gives you money. The problem is at the moment is that the game is more geared towards, if I buy a Mosin and a Dolch, I can loot 6 players and get my loadout cost back, and possibly more by looting players. But if I go in and I don't have a fight and I go for the bounty like I'm supposed to, I've not even really paid for my Mosin when I get out. Do you know what I mean? So in people's heads, there was like, well, I'm just gonna fuck it. I'm just gonna go and risk the loadout and loot 6 people and get more money.
Yep.
And also I don't care about losing this Mosin that cost me 600 whatever it is, because I've got 55 million.
Right. Yeah, I definitely feel like they need to do a wipe. 100%.
And we could do a podcast on just that alone. I think we could fill hours of debating, the pros and cons of wiping people's progression and money. I think it's too late for Hunt now. I think if they come out and said it now, I think
they would have a lot of
people off.
Oh yeah, it would
piss a
anger.
lot of people, but at the same time, it affects everybody. It affects literally every single person, so it doesn't matter.
But it would piss the people off that are the players that don't play the objective and just go for the
PvP aspect. Yes,
meta loadouts and just go for loot and hunters to gain money.
And that's all it would.
That's the main people it would piss off. Honestly, that's my opinion. I think that is the people that it would get to the most, right?
Yeah. And it would just be like, okay, well, guess what? Everybody's reset, so there you go. Like, la-di-ta-di-da. Like, here we are. I definitely think they should.
If you love the game
seasons.
that much, that's another grind.
Yeah.
For me, that's like I used to love the wipes on Tarkov. Like, I actually loved wipe days and you would get it in this game as well, because everyone would be running the cheap shit, right? Which makes the fights a lot more drawn out and entertaining. You stand a little bit of a better chance, right? You feel like you stand a little bit more, because you can still have someone with cracked aim with little ammo, that can dome everyone. But you still feel. And honestly, Tarkov first couple of days of wipe, we used to leave it alone because the servers would be screwed, and then you jump in and everyone had shit ammo, right? But everyone had shit armor, everyone had shit wear, and the PvP was so fun, man. It was literally, and then within 2 weeks, you get a few dickheads that are just no-lifed it, and they've just gone and got the best ammo and the best gear and the best armor, and just your luck, you get put up against them and you get destroyed, and then that 2 weeks of hype is just dead in one raid, right? Do you know what I mean? And then 6 months, you start building your money up. And then the goal is to build your money up, so you can get that stuff, you can get that gear, you can get the best shit, you can get the best ammo to put in your guns, right? And then you get to 6 months, and then you're like, the wipe's coming. I'm excited, you know, and you get that feeling of a new game coming out again. You know, that kind of excited.
Well, that's the
excited
thing. Like
feeling.
it would do the same thing though, because it would be like, okay, hey, we're all back to $5,000 or $10,000 hunt dollars again. Do we take in the $2,000 fucking loadout
do we do
to
it?
maybe?
Yeah, do we do it?
To maybe get an up, and like you would actually have weapon diversity be shown again for at least the beginning part until you start seeing what everybody's running, and then maybe do some tweaks or whatnot to balance certain weapons and factor in those type of conditions for your next wipe or whatever it is. And I feel like Hunt could definitely benefit off of that.
And also, like, and this is maybe a selfish way of looking at it, but that's more content for content creators that are representing the game, right?
Yeah.
Guides, make this amount of money, doing this money, you know, whatever it might be, or, you know, best budget loadout to take in at the beginning of the wipe, you know, bang for buck, and all this stuff. And yes, individually, it does create content for that content creator, but think about the exposure that it gives to the game on the long run.
Yeah.
Right? If you've got 100 people, let's just say 100 content creators making brand new content on your game, getting shared across every social now, TikTok, YouTube, you know, they're doing it live on their Twitch, you know, they're jumping in and helping community members get a little bit of money, you know, by helping them in the hunts and stuff. That's just natural growth.
Well, I mean, not only that,
one thing,
but it creates longevity for the game too.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas, you know, right here, I mean, Hunt was at a stalemate for the last 3 years. Really nothing new was added. Okay, you had a couple of new weapons and whatnot, but the events, they stalemated out. But as far as like playing the game went, most people already had their accounts at Prestige 100, Rank 100, and whatever. Like, cool. And I think they could do a seasonal thing where they would tweak down the Prestige system a little bit and maybe make it to where each year or whatever they do, they reset a wipe. There is a whole new factor of rewards for that prestige system in that tier. Now you got people having a reason to go for those different prestiges and those different rewards and factor in those things.
How many players, veteran players, how many accounts, and this will all go on their stats of how many people are playing the game, are Smurf accounts, are secondary accounts. Because they've done it. They've got the 1-1. They've got the 100-100.
Yep.
And they're bored. You know, there's nothing else for them to do. They've got millions of hunt dollars on that character. They've got all the skins unlocked. They've got all their Blood Bond characters. You know, they've been playing it since alpha. There's nothing for them to do. So what do? Oh, let's go and shit on brand new players to the game, right?
Yeah.
And buy a Smurf account. The brand new players that are coming in are like, this game's fucking, oh, I'm dead.
Yep.
Oh, I'm dead. Because they're getting matched with people that aren't their skill. So the MMR is completely wrong because people can just buy a new account for $1, you know, on these bloody key sites.
Yeah.
And they've got a brand new Steam account and a brand new game.
Yep.
And that over time is just a knock-on effect. Now, what a wipe would do is that would potentially eliminate that. Because even if you are P100, 100, you got to get your money back up again, you know, to run your favorite loadout, you know, or do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it may stop that. I would love to see on a spreadsheet how many people, and they'd never be able to do this, but how many accounts are actually, like, how many single IPs have multiple accounts.
Oh, be almost.
I think it'd be shocking.
I think it'd be damn near 80-90%.
I think it'd be shocking.
Yeah,
I honestly think a wipe would solve a lot of that issues. But then you're taking money away from the company. You're taking money away from Crytek. So, like, you know,
I think the wipe would be needed, but I think because it would draw more people to play their game consistently on a consistent basis, which then would bring more new players in, which then therefore would cause those people to actually purchase in-game items that they have, blood bonds or hunters or cosmetics, skins, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, I mean, I feel like that definitely would be something that we could definitely talk about on one of these podcasts. But I mean, to wrap up this, I mean,
we haven't touched on like the elephant in the room.
Well, Mezzy.
Like we've talked about not Mez. Jesus, I'm sorry, Mezzy. You are not
My
the
trunk's
elephant
not
in the room. We've talked about like the things that we don't like. We've talked about stuff that we wish they would change. Tomorrow is basically Hunt 2.0.
yeah.
What what are we hoping for? What are we excited for? Besides the map. Like clearly a new map is answering, I think, everybody's prayers.
Oh yeah, so it's a whole new atmosphere and a whole new change to the game. And everybody wanted change and everybody needed something else to drive them back. But I mean, I'm hoping that it runs smooth, everything goes smooth. It brings back that initial feeling of love for the game that you initially had. I remember like back in 2018 when playing this game, I was like, dude, I fucking am addicted. Like, I can't wait to get off work so I can fucking play this tonight. Like that. It was just that feeling of I need work to end like yesterday so I could fucking just play this. Whereas now it was just to the point of, fuck, I don't have a Mosin and a Dolch. Well, all right, we'll see what we can do just because everybody else is gonna run it. And it was just like it just came to like a.
It was like, oh God, we're playing Hunt.
Yeah, I mean it. And I absolutely my favorite FPS shooter, 100%. Like there's no other FPS shooter that probably has done what Hunt has done. It's an absolute amazing game, and it's going to be great to see what these changes do. I'm just hoping that a lot of the bugs are fixed that have been in the game for years. I'm hoping that they've recoded a lot of things. The game runs smoother. Hit reg is regging.
Reggie, who the fuck is Reggie?
I just hope for a smooth transition tomorrow, and not only that, but it's the Hellborn is going to be the first ranged boss, which I think is going to be a very interesting thing. Which I don't think a lot of people read too much about him, but for the people that don't know, Hellborn is the first ranged boss that you're actually supposed to fight from a range. If you even get close to him, he explodes throwing fireballs at everybody and will instantly put you on fire.
I volunteer as tribute.
Yeah, I've got to test that theory.
Right?
You can go first.
Yeah. So, I think that type of play style is going to be interesting for sure. I kind of like it though, because it's now going to cause a different chaos pattern. But, and I mean, and that's just something new that everybody wanted, is everybody wanted something new and enticing to play and to get that nostalgic feeling again of, you know, that adrenaline dump and that reward feeling of when you win a match and you had such a high.
I want that adrenaline spike again.
Yeah, 100%.
You know? I want to feel that again, and I'm looking forward to feeling that again. I mean, for me personally, on your question, Hyde, I just want to say that, yes, we've covered a lot of topics and we've had a lot of opinions, some not all positive, mostly negative.
But I know, but I think
can
it's like just like the surface. I think that's what
I think. Yeah, I think I can speak for everyone right now that's putting the time in to make this podcast around this game. Is the reason we're like that is because we're so fucking passionate about it, you know, and we actually love it. We're literally in love with it. That's why we've got these gripes, moans, and improvements and stuff. So I guess I could say anyone that listens to this and wants us to expand on a certain topic that we've like touched the surface on tonight, just pop it in the comments below.
For sure.
That'd be good.
Yeah.
I agree.
I third it. I mean, and I will say, I think everybody who's here tonight, both myself, Jack, Mezzy, and Marsh. I think we all have a love for the game, and we can all agree that it is a diamond in the rough. It just needs polishing. Like I've said that for so long, that this game just needs some polishing, and hopefully this update it brings it back to life and makes it to where when I turn on my computer and load up Steam, I want to be like, yes, we're playing Hunt tonight. Or
I mean, I took the day off work tomorrow to play this bitch, you know?
I mean, so did Jack.
I'm excited.
I did not. So did Jack.
It's like Christmas morning for me, you know?
Yeah.
I doubt Jack's boss will ever see this, but his PTO is being used.
Facts. I mean, right now it's just, Hunt is a turd floating in the water that's about to sink. It's about to sink to the bottom.
Wow,
Christ,
that's
Jack.
the logic
Watch
that
out
you.
for the iceberg!
I mean, right now, I'm just saying, it's still barely hanging on. It's floating, but,
I will say, when you've said that this update can make or break it,
Yeah.
100% you are right. This update can, which we've all played Hunt long enough through updates, through events, through Twitch drops. And this weekend, they are having all the things starting at once.
Mm-hmm.
I
That's a good point, actually. Twitch drops on the 16th.
yes.
Friday.
So if you guys are
Yep.
watching this late, like tomorrow or whatever, Twitch drops. Check out twitch.tv/madmarsh, the slag himself, and twitch.tv/MsHyde and DrJekyll. Jack is taking off work to start the stream.
Yep.
Priorities, huh, babe?
Yep.
Yep. And soon we will have Mr. Mezzward himself back in it.
Yeah.
Soon.
I can't wait to see that meat, bruh.
Okay, you know what? For
Keep
those that
talking
are
like that, you're
actually
gonna be moving here quicker than you think.
see, this is what happens when you get 3 guys in one chat room.
Hey, we've
And
been
one
good.
Discord
We've been
channel.
good. We've been good. We've
I
been
am
good tonight.
surprised. I am very proud.
I want to do more of these. But
I
I
do
also
too.
want the people that watch this to get involved and tell us what they want to hear from us.
Yeah, so
Because we
you
have
heard
got a
it
wealth
from
of knowledge in here apart from me.
A wealth of knowledge.
A wealth of
A
knowledge.
wealth of knowledge, Mike.
Your knowledge is worth more than the bounty in Hunt Showdown. Just
Oh,
saying.
shit, Mike.
That's
Does that mean I
not
can have a
saying
button?
much.
Can I have a button, Mike?
You can have the button.
Oh, well, I'm button your button, Mike.
Jesus.
No, you'll button his bottle.
Uh-oh. But yes, anything that you want to hear about the next topic, please comment down below and stay tuned for more. But I think on this podcast edition, I think our first podcast here is
Season 1, episode 1.
coming to an end. And I think it's great because I got to take a shit.
Are you?
I'll race you.
Oh my god.
Thanks, Mike.
And the flag is going.
Well, it's just me and Mezzy.
See you all next time.
See you next time.
Don't forget to wipe.
Are you a scrunch?